Yo, Blizzard is out here being ruthless. Yo, look at this post. Dragonflight class tuning incoming on the weekly reset, calling this the God comp nerfs. Now, yo, it's crazy. If you watch the MDI from this past week, you see what's running around. Fire Mage, Guardian Druid, Holy Pally, things like that. Shadow Priest, man. There's a few busted things going on in the game. And you know, it's about time. Like I respect Blizz for putting their foot down and noticing, like, yo, some of these things are just kind of overperforming just a little too much. Like, no other spec or no other class is going to get any burn because this handful is just out here dominating. There's no tank nowhere close to Guardian. The next best tank is DH. You have no healer doing it like Holy Pally right now. It's like nowhere close. Augmentation is kind of like it's in a league of its own. And then you can kind of, Shadow Priest, Fire Mage, maybe a maybe an Unholy DK somewhere splashed around. You'll see in that group. But other than that, nothing else is getting any love. So they're tuning some things. Let's go ahead and get right into these tunings. Let's see what Blizz has to talk about. So Blizzard wants to talk about as we continue to monitor gameplay data and player feedback, which people are probably complaining that this spec sucks. We will soon make several tuning adjustments to classes that are over and underperforming in group content. The following are changes that we intend to make with scheduled weekly maintenance Tuesday, August 8th in this region. So that's going to be for us over here in the US. All right, so the big thing that we saw, they're making adjustments to classes that are over and underperforming. So you think a class is like, well, we're not going to go all the way to the bottom because I could mention a few specs that are underperforming. We're going to talk about Assassination Rogue. We'll talk about Elemental Shaman. We'll talk about Marksman, Survival Hunter. We'll talk about even Red Pallies not really doing the things I feel like a Red Pally should be doing because I've come across some decent Red Pallies. Um, these guys need to be brought up, right? But let's see the adjustment of these numbers that Blizz is going to make come Tuesday. So, except where noted, all changes will be offset so they do not apply to PvP. I'm a PvE. I don't care about PvP. They can kick rocks. All right. Y'all stay over there on your side of the tracks. All right. Unholy. Epidemic damage increased by 8%. And then burst of swords damage increased by 12%. So we all see DK is not really getting any love. Not Blood, not Unholy, not Frost. I think Frost out of the two DPS specs is the better two. So they're trying to bring damage up. This is going to be Epidemic is pretty much, I'm pretty sure, Unholy's DK's number 1 or 2 damage on the DPS charts. And then Bursting Swords is going to be AoE. So bringing that up for these high keys, maybe if raid 2 is going to be pretty good for Unholy DK. We like that. We like that. Now we see the glimpse of Guardian Druid, right? Thrash damage reduced by 8%. This change will also affect PvP combat, so that's probably going to be more for BGs. And then raised damage reduced by 8%. This damage also affects PvP combat. So majority of times in PvP, Guardian is very, very, very annoying. And at some point, because of the survivability and the toolkit that Guardian does have, on top of having a crazy amount of health, they will kill you. At some point, you're going to die, right? And now I know there's a lot of things in the tree that make Thrash good, and then Raise is one of the talents that you choose for Guardian. I know it's somewhat here or there. I don't think this is going to cripple Guardian at all. I still think it's going to be pretty much of like the top tank. We'll kind of have to just see how represented they are coming on the reset. So we got a Voker coming up. Augmentation. So developer notes, Augmentation of Voker is adding a significant amount of damage to their party while also providing strong utility and survivability. For this week, we'd like to reduce some of the damage contributions from their buffs to help bring them more in line with other classes. Now, the one thing I don't like about this, right? Augmentation is the only spec in the game that does what augmentation does, right? It buffs your party so they can be stronger. So if they're not going to be a DPS, then why should their survivability be touched? Um, I don't think that's something that's going to be is going to be good for augmentation. I still think, regardless of what they touch, augmentation is still going to be one of those classes, specs that you're going to want in your group. Regardless, who doesn't want their group being buffed, right? I would. This affects healers, tanks, and the other two DPS in the group. And of course, if you're having a DPS in your group that is like your utility, why wouldn't you want this DPS to be able to do at least a little bit of damage? Like, you don't want it, topping the charts because it is a support spec, but you want it to be able to at least contribute towards the numbers if you're doing high keys with this spec. So I guess we'll have to see how they balance all that out. Breath of Eons accumulates 10% of damage done by allies with your Ebon Might was 15%, so just a 5% nerf there. Fate Mirror's chance to proc has been reduced to 10%, was 15. So that's honestly nothing like super like backbreaking. I don't think. If you look at it, they're worried about, it having strong utility and survivability, which is supposed to have that, right? Because it is a support class. All right. So if you don't want it doing that much damage or being able to like compete with some of the actual DPS in your group, by all means, fine. It's cool. I don't think it's really going to affect augmentation too much. 5%, I wouldn't sweat it. Next, we have Marksman Hunter. Multi-shot damage increased by 8%. And then we have explosion shot damage increased by 10%. And then trick shots increases the damage of your next aim shot or rapid fire by 70%, was 65. So a 15% increase to trick shots. I don't feel this is going to bring Marksman up really much at all when it comes to other range classes in the game. Honestly, when it comes to BM is still like the better choice when it comes to playing Hunter. If you're out here playing scumbag Hunter, I don't think Marksman is going to be one of those things. Of course, like if you're playing like casual keys, you might be like 15s or somewhere in that range. You cool. I think Marksman to be fine. But I think if you're pushing like these top keys and you want a Hunter in your group, the spec you're going to accept is probably going to be BM. But I hope more Marksman Hunters do, it represent for the squad and makes the most of these buffs. Next. We have good old Fire Mage, man. Fire has been destroying things after the fix from the newest patch with Flame Strike. Rune of Power got removed. So you didn't have to worry about that. You can just go in there and do work. And now they realize, like, yo, Fire's out here putting people on their backs. Like, if you're not a Fire Mage, you play a range caster, why would we add you to the group? You need to go play Fire. So Flame Strike damage decreased by 10%. Flame Patch damage decreased by 10%. Conflag damage decreased by 10%. Meteor damage decreased by 10%. Phoenix Flames and Liver Bomb damage decreased by 10%. So, yo, they're trying to, this I feel is going to nuke Fire, right? This is 6 core abilities that makes Fire what Fire is, and they're nerfing it all by 10%. 10% isn't a lot if it was 2 abilities, right? If it was only 2 of their abilities, 10% to those 2 wouldn't be bad. But 6 of them, and it's like their main thing. I don't know, man. It's Fire. Yikes. I don't know. Fire Mages, comment down below after this video on Tuesday. Let me know how Fire feels to you. Frost, common storm damage decreased by 6%, blizzard damage decreased by 8%, and Frozen damage decreased by 8%. I don't think this is going to be too much. I mean, if Fire and Frost just fall, just completely flop, you still got Arcane. Arcane is still nutty in the right hands. Maybe my hands. Yes. Holy Pally. Holy Pally's crazy. They heal. All healing reduced by 5%. Come on, Blizz. They said, you know what? Everything you got, any type of heal you got, we're gonna go ahead and just hit that by 5%. Go ahead and cut that out, right? Holy Pallies has been healing these groups, and like no other healer has been like coming close at all. Lights Protector now reduces damage taken by 10% with 16, so a little 6% nerf to that. Overflowing Light now creates an absorb shield for 30% of all Glimmer of Light's overhealing was 50%. So it's going to affect it by honestly a total of 25% because of all the healing be reduced by 5. And then this is a 20% nerf. So 25% to Overflowing Light. Tears Deliverance now increases healing taken from Holy Light, Flash of Light, and Holy Shock by 15 or 25%. So another 15% from Tears Deliverance getting bopped. Blessing of Summer now causes attacks to do 20% additional damage as Holy was 30. So they didn't want you in here just like push your face in as a Holy Pally. That's cool. Failing Light now creates an absorb shield of 3% of the healing or damage done by Holy Power generators was 10%. Oh man. What he try? These Holy Pallies about to be rippled out here. Righteous Judgment now has a 30% chance to activate Consecration. Was 50%. This change will also affect PvP. So they're trying to, get out that battle pally. I like it. Consecration damage reduced by 25%. This changes also affects PvP. I don't think anybody gonna care about. Anyways, Ret got some love, maybe. Divine Stone damage increased by 8%, Wicked Ashes by 10%, and Consecration damage decreased by 12. Come on, Red Pallies. Ooh, I need to play my Red Pallies some more. I'm leveling 1 on Horde. I got to get them right before Tuesday. Priest. Wait a minute. Now I'm excited. I'm excited because I've been playing Holy lately, and Holy Priest could be really good. I'm excited. Cross your fingers. Comment down below. Turkey sandwich. All right. Vampiric Embrace now heals and a nearby ally for 40% of any single target shadow spell damage dealt. What's 50%? Dang, they nerfed that. This change also affects PvP. Okay, whatever. Ceylon's now reduces the cooldown of Vampiric Embrace by 30 seconds. Was 45. This change also affects PvP. Okay, about PvP. Effectiveness. Cool. Discipline. Developer note says that this priest is not performing well as we'd like. So for this week, we're increasing their atonement healing. In a future past, we're working on redesigning some of the talent options and making tuning adjustments as well. That's pretty cool. I like that they noticed that this sucks right now. Take care of your people. Atonement heals for 40% of damage done. Was 36%. That's such an odd number. 36%. This change also affects PvP combat. So little 40%, little 4% buff. We'll take that. That's kind of cool. Holy. Oh, I'm excited for Holy. Rhapsody now stacks every 1 second. Was 2. And causes Holy Nova to deal 20% increased damage per stack. Was 10. This effect also affects PvP. And then Rhapsody now highlights Holy Nova while at 20 stacks. This cause also affects PvP. Now. It's something. We'll take it. We'll take it. Shadow, Vampiric Touch damage reduced by 20%. Shadow Word Pain damage reduced by 15. Shadow Reapparation damage reduced by 15. Healing for Vampiric Embrace is no longer reduced by 20% PvP combat. Ooh, they got kind of popped. They got Shadow Priest, y'all out there, y'all took the hit. Sorry for y'all. Hey, y'all better start playing Affliction. Unless they got nerfed too. Yikes. Hello, Rogue. All ability damage increased by 5%. This affected the PvP. Auto attack damage increased by 5%. So little buffs. Okay, Outlaw. Cool. Warrior. Ravager damage increased by 8%. For the prop warriors out there. Me. Thunderous Roar damage increased by 8%. That's for me too. Fury. Improved Whirlwind. Increase your next single target damage by 55% up from 50%. Now, Fury is sneaky. If you're a melee player and you think Fury is not sneaky, you're wrong. Get it together. Fury's kind of busting heads out there as the melee class. So, if you're rocking with Fury, hey man, you got a little buff come Tuesday. But the only thing I need, Blizz, single-minded Fury. I need you to buff it by 80%. That's all I'm asking for. If you're watching this video 80% increased damage to anyone that's wearing one-handers as a Fury Warrior. Thank you. But anyways, guys, whoever got hit on this list, I'm sorry. Comment down below if you got hit on this list. I got a little Buffy buff. I'm happy. No complaints here, right? To my fire mages, to my shadow priests. I play that violin for you. But it's about time. Y'all been going crazy. Appreciate y'all watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Shadow priest and fire mage. Better play Affliction. Better play Arcane. Yikes.